At first, we thought my mother was just tired. She kept saying she didn't feel right, but none of us realized how serious it really was. Then one night, something happened that none of us could explain. And looking back now, I truly believe God was trying to warn us before it was too late.
Welcome to God Showed Up Stories. Today's story is for anyone who has ever watched someone they love suffer while feeling completely helpless. Sometimes life changes quietly. A small symptom, a strange feeling, a moment that doesn't seem important at first. And before you know it, everything changes. But this story is also a reminder that God can still guide us even in terrifying moments. Sometimes through peace, sometimes through people, and sometimes through signs we almost ignore. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you've ever experienced a moment where you believe God was protecting someone you love. Now let's get into the story.
My mother had always been the strongest person in our family. Even when she was tired, she kept going. That's why none of us thought too much of it when she started saying she didn't feel well. At first, it seemed small. She was more tired than usual. She complained about chills. Sometimes she said her body hurt, but she kept brushing it off. She probably just caught something, we all said. Even she believed it. But over the next couple of days, something about her seemed different. Not just physically, there was this strange heaviness around her. I remember walking into her kitchen one evening and seeing her sitting quietly at the table, staring into space. That wasn't like her. Usually, she was talking, cooking, moving around. But that night, she looked exhausted, in a way I had never seen before. I asked if she wanted to go to the doctor. She shook her head. "I'll be fine," she whispered. But deep down, something inside me felt unsettled. That night, I barely slept. Around 3 inches the morning, I woke up suddenly with this overwhelming feeling that I needed to check on her. I can't fully explain it. It felt urgent, almost like someone was pushing me awake. At first, I tried to ignore it, but the feeling got stronger, so I grabbed my phone and called her. No answer. I called again. Still, nothing. By then, my heart was racing. I drove to her house in the middle of the night, and when I got there, I found her barely able to stand. She looked pale, confused, weak. I remember the fear that hit me when she tried speaking and couldn't finish her sentence properly. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. We rushed her to the emergency room. Everything after that happened fast. Doctors came in and out. Machines started beeping. Nurses were asking questions. Then finally, one doctor pulled us aside. I'll never forget the words he said. "If you had waited much longer, this could have turned deadly." My stomach dropped. They told us she had severe sepsis, caused by an infection that had spread through her body. I had heard the word before, but I never understood how dangerous it really was. The doctor explained that sepsis can become life-threatening very quickly if it isn't treated in time. And suddenly, all those small symptoms didn't feel small anymore. I remember sitting alone in the hospital hallway, feeling completely overwhelmed. My mind kept replaying that moment from earlier that night. The sudden urge to wake up. The feeling that I needed to call her. The panic I couldn't explain. And honestly, I truly believe God was trying to warn me. Because if I had ignored that feeling, if I had gone back to sleep, things could have ended very differently. The next few days were emotionally exhausting. There were moments when doctors still weren't sure how her body would respond. Watching someone you love lying in a hospital bed changes you. You realize how fragile life really is. I remember sitting beside her one evening while she slept. The hospital room was quiet, except for the sound of machines humming softly. I grabbed her hand and prayed harder than I had prayed in years. Not for money, not for success, not for answers about my own life, just for my mother to survive. And little by little, she started improving. Her color came back. Her strength slowly returned. She started smiling again. I don't think I've ever felt more grateful in my life than the day she finally walked out of that hospital. Even now, thinking about it still shakes me, because it reminded me how quickly life can change. But it also reminded me that God can still move through moments we don't fully understand. Sometimes people call it intuition, sometimes coincidence. But I believe God can place warnings on our hearts when someone we love needs us most. And ever since then, I don't ignore those quiet feelings the same way anymore. Because sometimes God is protecting people long before we realize danger is there. So if you're watching this today, please pay attention when your spirit feels unsettled. Check on the people you love. Don't ignore symptoms that seem unusual. And never underestimate how quickly infections and sepsis can become serious. Most importantly, never underestimate the ways God can guide us during moments that feel terrifying and uncertain.
If this story touched your heart today, comment, "Thank you, God," down below. And if God has ever protected someone you love, comment, "God was watching over us." Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to God Showed Up Stories, and turn on your notifications so you never miss another emotional testimony of faith and hope. And share this story with someone who may need encouragement today. Thanks for watching. And remember, God always shows up right on time.